It's amazing how bearish people get when Bitcoin drops 8% from the high. In today's video, we'll be going over the most recent Bitcoin price action and taking a look at the crucial support levels which we're currently holding. We'll also be going over my most recent Ethereum trade, which I've been talking about for a matter of weeks now, and of course, the news that's currently impacting this market. If you enjoy the content, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. Without further ado, let's jump right into the video. This most recent correction got a lot of people shorting Bitcoin. From the highs of 124.5k down to the lows here, we dropped just about 8%. Now everyone is freaking out. Bitcoin dumped, of course, Ethereum dumped, and the rest of the market dumped as well. But as you can see here, if I zoom into this chart, which is on the daily time frame, we are currently holding two pivotal levels as support. Number one is, of course, the value area low, which you can see down here, this yellow line. Bitcoin is holding it as support. We also have the top of this range. Now, I remember telling you a couple of videos ago, we do not want to see Bitcoin back in this range. And as soon as we came back in this range, this caused a lot of panic. However, if we close the daily candle like this, I do think that some more upside is here for Bitcoin. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that we have to put in a new all-time high, because this was a pretty aggressive move down. And as a matter of fact, if I go on the weekly time frame, you can see that this is clearly an SFP on the weekly. So I would actually be expecting further downside for Bitcoin, but if you've been watching the channel, my theory is that we will likely have a more significant correction for Bitcoin right into September. And so right now, I do think we can continue to chop around. Now, why do I keep talking about chopping around for Bitcoin? Well, that is because I have been vocally bullish on Ethereum. I think that ETH can be putting in an all-time high before we potentially get the September correction. And I will keep reiterating this until it's proven wrong. Right now, you can see that we're forming a little bit of a bull flag for Ethereum. We're stuck in this range, but the good news here is two things. First of all, we held this liquidity zone, which you can see we held as support for a few days before we pumped and made the all-time high of this cycle. However, we also are currently holding the point of control of this Ethereum range. And you can see that this is the gray line on the chart, right around $4,300. Hold above this level and ETH can be moving much, much higher. But as I always say, we need Bitcoin to behave. Right now, this is a pretty decent daily close if you ask me. We dumped significantly. However, we are now pumping a little bit further. So let's see what happens here. Best case scenario, in my opinion, as I've been talking about on the channel, is that we can get back above this level, which is right around 117.9k, the point of control in the coming days. And then potentially, as we chop around here, we can see Ethereum finally get the relief to a new all-time high, which is exactly why I've been in this Ethereum trade, which you can see is still currently down 20k. Now, perhaps I may have entered a little bit early, but I'm perfectly comfortable holding this trade because I do have a good amount of conviction in it. Now, on the flip side, you can see that this most recent Bitcoin long that I entered within my free community yielded $53,000 in profits, and we're currently sitting on around $15,000 of unrealized P&Ls. I will likely cash out as Bitcoin heads back towards the liquidity zone that I'm looking at, which is right around $120,000. If we can make our way there and consolidate just for a few days, it's at that point in time that I think that Ethereum will be absolutely exploding to new all-time highs. Now, it's at that point that I'm anticipating a correction, just to be perfectly clear if you haven't been watching my videos. But as you can see here, this Bitcoin trade yielded some insane profits. And if you want to trade with me, remember to sign up with me on weeks where they still have a 1,000 Ethereum airdrop position. And to get access to this, sign up with me with the third link in my description down below. You click this link and then all you need to do is sign up, download the Weeks app, and you'll automatically get a 1,000 Ethereum position airdrop. And if you're a little bit of a bigger trader, if you deposit $10,000 into your Weeks account for trading as you normally would, you will get a $4,000 position for Ethereum. That's whether or not you're bullish or bearish. You can use this Ethereum position to make some significant profits in the market if this is something that interests you. So remember, that is the third link in my description down below. And if you're looking for an alternative crypto exchange, as per usual, I also have Phoenix, which is down below this last link here. Now, what is next? Right now, I do like that Ethereum is holding this level as support. I also like that Bitcoin is holding above the value area low, but I want to see us reclaim this point of control. Everyone has been freaking out, and it's very clear to see that on the liquidation heat map, everyone started piling into shorts. And we can also see that on the 7-day time frame, the Bitcoin exchange liquidation map suggests exactly the same. Trust me when I say, when everyone is going short, you do not want to be going short. Same thing for Ethereum. You can see that over the past 7 days, a lot of people started piling into ETH shorts right as we almost grazed the previous all-time high of 4,868. I think that this will be met, and I think a lot of people will be shocked, shaken out of their short positions. I'm seeing so many people on Twitter now calling for the market cycle top, which I definitely don't believe is the case if you've been watching my channel. So currently, this is how I'm operating. I think that ETH will likely put in an all-time high. If we don't, well, we will be shaving some profits around the $4,800 level if we can manage to get there, and of course, if Bitcoin can behave. Then, I do think we can be seeing a correction in September, and that correction would likely provide the last huge opportunity to pile into crypto before we get that last leg higher. And that's also when I will probably be opening some leveraged long positions on not just Bitcoin, Ethereum, but also on some altcoins, and I will be buying some altcoins. If you've been watching the channel, you know that I've been mainly in Bitcoin and Ethereum from my spot positioning because it gives me the upside while minimizing my downside risk. Well, I will likely be swapping some of my Bitcoin/ETH into altcoins after we potentially get a September correction. And if you haven't been watching me, the reason why I think we will be getting a September correction is because one, it's not favorable seasonality for stocks, but two, you can see that every single post-halving year, we tend to get a red month in September. And the last thing I wanted to cover in today's video is that we can see that Trump did start a meeting with Zelensky and the European leaders behind closed doors in the White House today, and he actually interrupted the meeting with the European leaders to call Putin, which may show some collaboration here. So let's see what happens, because markets actually started rallying when we got this news. Then Ukraine came out today and said that they're offering a $100 billion weapons deal to Trump to win security guarantee. And after this meeting, news came out that Trump began arrangements for a new meeting at a location to be determined between President Putin and President Zelensky. This is ultimately positive to hopefully end the war that's been ongoing for such a long time. Naturally, the markets reacted positively to this, and you can see right now that Bitcoin is sitting right around 116.8K. But it's not time to celebrate yet. We want to hold above this range, we want to hold above the value area low, and we want to trickle on up above the point of control. If we start holding above this point of control, that, in my opinion, is where things start to get very interesting for Ethereum, and we could see ETH go ahead and get a nice pump, rally to all-time highs before we come back down into September when we get that correction that I've been anticipating. I hope you can appreciate that it's actually very difficult to call what's going to happen in the market. I'm just giving you my perspective, and I do think a correction is possible, but no one has been able to time these things with perfect accuracy. And that sums up today's video. Despite the weekly SFP on Bitcoin and everyone freaking out, we're seeing a massive wick to the downside on the daily time frame for Bitcoin, suggesting that we could trickle on a little bit higher before a potential correction. I will make sure to keep you updated as things develop and how I'm operating in this market. As always, fully transparent with my wins and my losses. If you enjoy the content, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video.